Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video we're going to do a bit of a market recap, a bit of a deep dive into what's happening in the market. We're going to have a look at stuff in Russia related to cryptocurrency and touch on Luna as well. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Right, let's get down to the desktop. Okay, so we'll start with coin market cap, back to ordinary times, right? So we were at $1.28 trillion. We're up a whopping 3.34% at the time of recording. Bitcoin is above $30,000 at 3.37% up in the last 24 hours. Ethereum's at $2,000 and so on, right? So, ultimately there's a fair amount of green and we're still expecting some downside, I'm led to believe from what Nick said. But, keep up with all the technical analysis videos that Nick's doing. He will keep you up to date on where we think we're sort of heading when it comes to the price action. And I do encourage people to watch some of those videos, just so you're aware of the potential opportunities to buy in, like the buy zones as we call them. I think that's really important. And just remember that none of this is financial advice. It should be treated as educational purposes only. We're not encouraging anybody to invest or sell when it comes to any videos that we make here. What we are encouraging people to do is their own research. There is no substitute for your own research. It is so important, right? Particularly when, this channel, our channel, is highlighting, the potential risks and, misleading activities that are happening in this space. And do check out some of those earlier videos where I'm sort of detailing red flags. I'm detailing, some of the things that are happening within project ecosystems that are very misleading to retail investors. The use of bots to create wallets, the use of bots to, I guess, encourage more people into an ecosystem, right? And it's almost like it's widely become acceptable for bots to be used in, say, Twitter, for example, for promotion of NFT projects. I mean, if you have a look through a number of the different posts on various different platforms, well, I say platforms, yeah, platforms. I mean, you could say platforms, right? But what I mean is posts and stuff like that. You will see lots of people, or you think of people, but they're not, they're actually bots, saying, oh, this project's going to 100x, this project's going to do this, it's going to do that, this one's wonderful, check it out, and all this sort of stuff. And actually, there's some kid in his basement that's, got a server and he's putting all this stuff out. So I think, it shouldn't be accepted. We should ask questions and we should expect answers from projects that we're invested in. We are, I guess, in essence, investing in the team. We're investing in the tech. We're invested in, all of that stuff, right? And, in most cases, you're sold the dream. And in reality, there's somebody behind the curtain, and perhaps they're not doing right by the people investing. So, I think we should ask questions all the time. I think we should be aware of what the risks are when we get into these investments. And ultimately, the teams are responsible for actually giving answers when the community is asking. So, lots going on. I think, it's unfortunate with the timing that the market is, it's pulled back so far and we're highlighting this stuff now. But, you can't help when this stuff is brought to your attention, right? And we are very much proactive when it comes to talking about the good as well as talking about the bad. So if you want to be sort of kept up to date, jump in our Discord. Link is in the description. It's free to join, and have more meaningful conversations with us there. Ultimately, we have our Twitter, we have our YouTube channel, and, you really need to be, in my humble opinion, really focused on, the ongoing happenings within any project that you're invested in. That's my opinion. And, the best way to do that is just to make sure that you're keeping yourself very, very much engaged. This sort of period in a cycle is normally where most of the generational level wealth is made. There'll be a lot of people that are looking at their portfolios and, it's really red, and, you might be in unrealized losses at the moment when you look at your portfolio. With all that said, these are the times where you get the opportunities to build up and reduce that average price of your buying down. And this is what has set us apart from many others in the space, in the respect that we were around and we were engaged, whilst other YouTubers are disappearing to go do some house chores, or travel, or whatever the excuses might be. Ultimately, we're here because this is the most important time to be about. This is the most important time to be engaged. This is the most important time to be researching crypto projects. And we've got lots of really exciting stuff happening in our Discord. And definitely check out our Patreon as well to see if that is something that interests you. Obviously, no obligation to go do anything with that stuff. I'm just merely highlighting the opportunities that are there. We have a fantastic community, and lots of really engaging content is being made outside of the YouTube ecosystem. So definitely take a look at all that stuff, right? But let's move on to some of the other stuff. And I talk about adoption quite a lot, right? And the main thing about adoption for me is it demonstrates that crypto isn't going anywhere. And I think it's really important to know that. I think there are going to be 99% of projects that disappear over time, right? And you could say that it's a bit like the boom of the internet, right? There were so many thousands of companies. It was very difficult, and you could even question whether it was even possible to pick out the winners from those earlier days. And we're the same with crypto, right? There's like 19,000 cryptocurrencies, and there's only going to be a few that are here in 10-20 years time, right? So it is very, very difficult to pick out those projects. So if you think you've got a project that we don't talk about on this channel, let us know in the comments below. I'm talking about the projects that you would take a punt on being here in 10-20 years time. Really interested to get your views and opinions, but I want people to be aware of this stuff, right? You've got to keep an eye on your investments. You've got to stay close to the projects. You've got to make sure that the roadmaps are time dated and all that sort of stuff. Otherwise you can't hold these teams to account. And they need to be held to account, right? You've invested your hard-earned money into some of these projects. You need to know that they're on track and they're doing everything that they've articulated they plan to do. If they're not, then you need to get out, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But if the team isn't delivering, that's not a good sign. It never is. But the adoption side of things is really important, right? Because we're starting to see Russia looking to legislate cryptocurrency for payments, and they're going to do it sooner rather than later. And this may be because of all the sanctions that have been placed on them. But ultimately, I think this is really good for crypto. I think it's going to force the hand of others around the world, government-wise, in order to sort out their legislation and the regulations that are required in this space. And with the stuff that I've been highlighting most recently about some of the darker side of the crypto space, the stuff that happens behind the scenes, and what we've seen with Luna, I think there's a real need for it. There's such a need. These teams should be brought to justice, and for committing some of the scams that they do. And I also think that these projects should be held accountable. They should be held accountable for their plans, and when they don't deliver, heads should roll. Just my opinion. But ultimately, I think this is really bullish. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on whether you believe that this will have a positive impact on other governments, pushing them for adoption of legislation and governance, because I think that's really important. And I'm really interested to get your views and opinions, whether you agree. Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think that it's a bad thing, and actually this is going to cause the likes of the US to come down hard on cryptocurrency? Not sure entirely, but I'm thinking it's going to be positive. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. And then the other thing that I want to sort of touch on was just around Luna. You know, the billionaire founder of the crypto exchange Binance says he's poor again. Yeah, he might be poorer. I question whether he's actually poor. You know, his holdings of Luna, once worth 1.6 billion, crashed and are now worth 2,200. Again, I'm not going to get into the article in full detail. I just think that it's really interesting. There's lots of people saying that, you know, this was really easy to see. This was definitely a Ponzi scheme, and all these things that are coming to light now that nobody seemed to be talking about before. You know, if it was really that easy to spot that, you know, it was a Ponzi scheme or a scam, do you think, you know, we'd be seeing headlines like this? I question you. So do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on that. You know, I just don't think that we would be seeing these sort of headlines and seeing these sort of people invest in this sort of money, or you know, I imagine he invested more than $2,200 into Luna. You know, I do question whether we would see these sorts of headlines if it was really that easy to know that it was going to happen, as it has all played out. So if you enjoyed today's video, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.